Hello and welcome back to my channel. Happy New Year to you. I hope you've had an amazing start. Mine has been very quiet, which I'm grateful for. The new year often brings forward thoughts of the future and what we would like to achieve or bring into our lives. For the last few years, I haven't made any New Year's resolutions and I won't be doing so again. But I will attempt to make this year more focused on my well-being. It has been a difficult few years after the death of my dad and taking care of my mum. And this year, I'm hoping things will be more settled and I can just concentrate my time on my interests, such as improving my fitness, dedicating myself to writing and to this channel, also reading. I also want to focus more on my health. I know a few years ago I had a blood test and it showed that I had high cholesterol and I need to get that checked again. Around this time of year, I create a table of every what I think every person needs, like career, relationships, money, hobbies, etc. And I give them a number of importance of what I want versus what I need. So I'll show you my diary for 2026 and where I've put my table. It just prioritizes what you actually need rather than what you want. I did this 8 years ago and it looked completely different to how it looks now because I stopped using my energy on things I wanted and put it into the things I needed. You realize there is a lot of things you can live without, but you need to get your mind into a space of letting go of the thoughts that I must have this to be happy. Most things in life you can overcome if you think about it in the right way. And it's the only way to build resilience to life's curves and directions it takes you in. Anyway, this table does this for me, taking what I desperately want and reminding me that I don't actually need them to be happy. I'm choosing to be unhappy because I don't have them. And if you need more guidance on this type of thinking, I would suggest reading some cognitive behavioral therapy CBT books to break down your stubborn beliefs on why you can't do something or why you need this thing in order to feel good about yourself. It is a very valuable tool for many people, especially for myself. This is the table I've created. Obviously, it's not December, Monday 29th when I'm recording this. We are well into January, but I just wanted to show you what I did here. So I've listed different aspects of life, and then I've compared what I want versus what I actually need. And in doing so, I'm allowing myself to accept that while I may want these things, I don't need them as much as I think. And I do this to realize if I'm getting anxious about losing my happy friendships, then it's to realize that while I do need friendships, I can be happy with other people's friendships. And that goes for the same for relationship as well. So it's about being grateful for what you have, most certainly, but also learning not to fear it going or you letting go because you can survive it. Another one is money. Yes, we would all like a lot of money, but actually, if you can afford to keep yourself, then that is the most important thing. Same with lifestyle. I may want more holidays and a bigger home, but I don't need it to be happy. Health is the only category that I want and need. Health is wealth, and I know I need to take good care of myself. Physical health and mental health is of equal importance. So, that is my table. When you really break it down and think, how much of this do I need in order to be happy? You see that there is a balance there. You don't need it as much as you think. And getting out of that headspace can just help to take off some of the pressures that you may put on yourself to achieve these things. I would love to see your tables. What did you think you needed and then realise that you didn't. That's what I'm focused on this year. You'll see my health category in this table is 10 for want and for need, because health is wealth. So, like I said, I need to check my cholesterol and make sure that I'm looking after myself. It is a warning sign that I need to listen to. And one change I have made is to my breakfast. I read that oats are very good for lowering cholesterol. So I now make myself overnight oats. I put half a cup of those oats into a cup, another cup, then a tablespoon of chia seeds, and then I just eyeball some milk. I don't like it cold, so in the morning I give it 2 minutes in the microwave, and then I add my apple and cinnamon puree. Um, I'll show you, I also filmed myself making that as well, so I'll put that up, the recipe. But again, that was quite eyeballed as well. um, but it is a lovely breakfast, and I find that if I eat something savoury for breakfast, which is normally eggs, I then want something sweet. But with this porridge, I don't. I'm getting that little bit of sweetness from the apple, and obviously there's sugar in there as well. So I get that sweetness and I feel very full. I don't actually get hunger pangs until well into lunchtime. So yeah, it seems to be working much better for me, this breakfast. A warming breakfast for these very cold starts to the day. For now, I'm going to go and do some reading, but I'll give you an update on the books I'll be reading this month later on. I am also just going to enjoy the sunshine. I'll probably just lay across here, get the sun on my face, and read my book for a while. So, yeah, a nice, peaceful start to 2026. Long may it continue. Hello again, it's midway through the week and we've had some light snow, so it's been really cold here. It does make me want to stay in bed, but I also want to create habits which I will stick to. So I've shown you my breakfast and that works for ease. So I'm going to apply that consideration to all the other habits I want to pursue. That is such as stretching in the morning. I'm thinking maybe I'll design my own stretching routines. So in my head, as soon as I wake up, rather than me just wanting to stay in bed and in the warm, but it'll get me thinking, right, I've got this in my head. Let's get out. Let's get it done for today. And I also feel so much better after stretching when I wake up. So that's definitely a habit I want to pursue. If not every day, then every other day of the week. Another habit I'm keen to continue is reading. I've tried to read an hour before bed with a physical book rather than my tablet or on my phone, as that seems to just create in my mind things I have to do. I then go on to checking things and I can't properly switch off. So I've bought this headband that has speakers in the side, and what I like to do is listen to classical music while I'm reading. And this combination seems to work really well for me. It calms my mind. I seem to focus better on the book I'm reading. So it's made a massive difference to me. And hopefully, I'll keep this up every evening before bed, just an hour of reading and relaxation. And hopefully, that will also help me sleep better as well. So, these are some of the ideas to help me achieve a few of the habits I want to incorporate and keep doing in my daily life. Some are going to be trial and error, but I think if you can find a formula that makes it easy to achieve your goal, that's what you have to try. They're not always going to work out, but if you strive to find something that helps you create an ease to achieving your aim and your goal, then you should definitely try it. The worst thing is that maybe you spent a bit of money, or maybe it hasn't worked out. But if it does, then that is wonderful and it can make a huge difference to your life. Anyway, on to reading. The physical book I'm currently reading is The War of the Roses, Stormberg by Con Iguden. It begins with the marriage arrangements between Margaret of Anjou to King Henry VI of England. This is a good read just before I go to bed because it's easy, it's an enjoyable story. So, yeah, I'm enjoying that. Another book I plan to read is Manage Anxiety Through CBT. I spoke earlier in the week about cognitive behavioural therapy and how it particularly helped me and my anxiety. So, this book is quite old. I've read it a few times, but I go back to it again and again because I think it's just good to refresh your mind on things that help you cope with certain aspects of life. And I find CBT is definitely one that prioritizes what you should be concerning yourself with and what you shouldn't be. But most things you shouldn't be worrying about, and that's what it trains your mind to put into perspective. So at some point this month, that's what I will be reading. And what I'm listening to is The Last Death of the Year by Sophie Hannah, which is a Hercule Poirot continuation of Agatha Christie's murder mysteries. I've enjoyed all of these novels by Sophie Hannah. I think she's done a great job of capturing the essence of Agatha Christie, and I particularly enjoyed listening to it when I'm out walking or house cleaning. A very chilled start to the new year, which I'm grateful for because I know not everyone has that luxury. I am now going to start dinner. I'm making a casserole and it needs time to simmer. So I will leave it there. I hope you have a lovely, relaxing January and I will see you next week. Goodbye.